Welcome to Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by LA's First Choice Auto Auction on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. It's your chance to hear directly from the head of Lion Football. Now, live from Topala Catering in downtown Hammond, here's Alan Waddell.
The 2018 Lion football season and the Frank Scelfo era got underway this past Thursday night in North Louisiana against UL Monroe. The odds makers pinned this game as a bit of a mismatch as the Lions were a big underdog on the road, but certainly that's not how the game played out. The new-look Lion offense shredded the Warhawks through the air as quarterback Chasen Virgil threw for 4 touchdown passes and over 350 yards. The game saw the Lions have a lead late in the fourth quarter and an opportunity to send the game to overtime with a field goal, but it didn't work out as the Lions left Monroe with a very tough 34-31 loss to open the season. This week, our Lions make the short trip to Baton Rouge to take on the LSU Tigers on national television as the Lions have their last live game before conference opens up in 2 weeks against Central Arkansas. Good evening, Lion fans. I'm Alan Waddell, and I want to welcome you to the debut of Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction, live from our home, Topala, right here in Hammond. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you may be tonight, whether on the Lions Radio Network or watching live on Facebook or even the archive on YouTube. We'll be with you until 8 o'clock tonight, and over the next hour, we'll get Coach Scelfo's thoughts on the season opener against ULM and get a preview of this week's trip to LSU. But first, let's take a break. When we come back, I'll be joined by the head football coach of your Southeastern Lions, Frank Scelfo. Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo is presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topala on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for providing the facilities to meet my health and nutritional needs in order for me to be the best student athlete I can be.
For making game day experiences go from ordinary to extraordinary.
For allowing me to meet new people and build lifelong friendships while competing at the school I love.
For giving me the resources to pursue my degree and the ability to excel in the classroom.
For helping me look my best as I compete and achieve my goals.
Thank you.
Imagine life without football. No Friday night lights, no pep rallies, no band. All that time invested to teach young men and women commitment and team spirit, gone. Football, where young men and women compete to be the best. Where fans, cheerleaders, and countless others take part in the team experience. Celebrate the passion that only happens every fall. Join the game.
All right, welcome back inside Topala Catering. This is the Inside Southeastern Football with Coach Frank Scelfo. I'm Alan Waddell. We'll be with you until 8 o'clock tonight. A little bit different as we're coming to you on Tuesday night because of the holiday yesterday. This show will normally be from 7 to 8 o'clock on Monday night, so this is the only one that is on Tuesday. We want to thank everybody who came out here tonight. And at this time, we're going to go ahead and welcome to the show. The reason everyone's here, the reason everyone's listening, to hear from the head football coach of your Southeastern Lions, Coach Frank Scelfo. Coach, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. Great to be here, man.
Coach, I know we didn't have a show last week to get ready for the season, just the way the calendar worked out because it was a short week playing on Thursday night. So we have a lot to cover tonight. Certainly, we'll take a look at some of the offseason stuff. We'll get into the ULM game, and then obviously take a look at this weekend as your team will take the trip to LSU. But first, I guess, give us kind of some opening comments of I know it was a whirlwind since you got the job here at Southeastern, made a lot of new hires on the coaching staff, went through a spring, went through a fall camp, and And then I know it went pretty quickly for you, though, as week one just happened against ULM.
Well, it did. Sometimes those things sneak up on you, but I think the staff we put together and then the way everybody's been embraced by not only the community, the school, the program. J.R. Teagues has done a great job helping me with all kind of navigating the process, Dr. Crane and, the entire university. So the people here in Hammond have been fantastic. And, so it's kind of like coming home. So it made the transition that much easier. So, as we got ready, we could concentrate on football. And the spring, as we went through spring, it was an evaluation process. And then summer, got a chance to really know the kids a lot better. And then camp, I thought it went really well. And, it kind of showed up in the game the other night that we did some really good things. But we got to build on it and grow from there.
Coach, I know that's usually one of the big questions is how you look in fall camp if you're going to be able to put that on the field. And I thought, for the most part, played really well against. I said it in the open. You came into this game as a big underdog and came into the game and really had a chance to win it there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the big question we had was who could make plays for us and who could stop plays for us. And so we had some guys make some plays. I think Juwan really had a good game and showed what he's capable of as a receiver. But that was. That's a tribute to what he did this spring and summer. He was challenged. He's got to become a better player. Maybe wasn't utilized. I don't know what it was in the past. It really doesn't matter. But I know how hard he worked to become a better receiver, route runner, and things like that. And Michael Spurlock did a great job with him. Look at Chase and Virgil. He's worked so hard to get into that spot and then performed like he did. Because you never know what's going to happen during the game. And then defensively, I thought that TaMarcus Russell and Matt Wright and Philando Jordan, those guys really hadn't played much, and they were able to perform on the field and do what they had been doing in practice. But practice is different than a game. You try not to. We tell them to play the practice like they're going to play in the game and prepare that way, but you never know how that's going to work out. But they did, and it was good to see. It was good to see guys making plays on both sides of the football, explosive plays offensively, and the same thing defensively.
Coach, a couple of years ago, this was a 7-4 team. Last year, 6-5. What's your expectations going into the season? What's your message to the team? I know you had a lot of returners from a year ago, but you also have some key newcomers as well. I guess what's the expectations of your football team?
Well, we just got to get better every week. I don't predict the scores. If I did, I'd just move to Vegas and make a bunch of money. But I want to grow and get better every week. I want to be better this week than we were last week. I want to be better next week. I want to be our best game is going to be our last game. That's what I want to be able to do that. And if we do that, that means we're developing our players not only for the season but for the future. We got some younger guys that we got to bring along and keep growing and getting better as we grow, as we get more experience for us. What the record's going to be, I don't know. We'll figure it out at the end of the season. You'll be able to put it all together and look up at the scoreboard, and it'll come out. But if we can just improve every week, I'll like our chances to be where we need to be when it's all over with.
Coach, for the fans, you come in here, new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. I guess the fans were wondering, what's this team going to look like? And we had an opportunity to see what it looked like against ULM. Much different offensively than we've seen the last couple of years, where this was a much different. It was more a run-heavy football team the last couple of years. We saw you put the ball in the air. I mentioned in the open, Chase and Virgil, a young man who transfers in here from Fresno State, has a spring, has a fall. Those were 4 touchdown passes. And defensively, I thought it looked similar in some areas, but looked different in some areas as well.
Yeah, I think, when you got guys like Greg Stevens and Louis Chofio on defense, they bring a wealth of experience. So it's been good that when you can sit down and talk to them and not have to explain anything. They already know what you're thinking. They know where you want to go, direction, how we want to play. Philosophically, we're on the same page. And I think when you have that when everybody buys in, everybody understands where we want to be. And when I talk, we went through this interview process with those guys, you find out a lot about people. And then when you run into some issues maybe during the spring or during fall camp and you work through them and you're able to work through them together, you realize you got something special within your staff. So the experience factor is what made it the transition easy, and I think that translates over to our players. Our players sense that. They know if there's unity on the staff, or they know if we got everything going in the right direction, if we're prepared, if we're doing the things we're supposed to do to help them get better and put them in a position to be the best they can be for us to win, come out on the right side of the scoreboard on Saturday. So they saw all of that. But it's when you have a wealth of experience between Louis and Greg and the things they've done in the past and all the things they've experienced, makes the transition so much easier.
Coach, obviously a much more balanced attack offensively this year, being able to put the ball in the air, something we haven't – it seemed like the last couple of years it was either big play for us through the passing game or just running the football. Not a whole lot of intermediate passing game, but a lot of these receivers are the same guys we've had. Talk about maybe their transition into a new offense. And I know I had a chance to talk to you a couple times before the year, and you said, hey, we have some guys, but we don't know what they're going to do in the game. They've never had it. I know the number of catches you said that were coming back from a year ago was a very small amount, and you were going to count on some of those guys this year.
Yeah, I felt like the talent level was there. We just hadn't seen it done. You couldn't put it on film. You couldn't qualify it because they hadn't done it yet. But as we went through spring and we started doing some things, just like the Monroe game, we probably wanted to run the ball a little bit more in the second half. But we had some things open up in the pass game we were able to take advantage of. So we went in that direction. We talked about it at halftime, made a couple of adjustments, and we were able to do some stuff in the second half in the pass game because of the way they were playing us in the run game. And Monroe's got a good football team in defense. They do a lot of different stuff up front, and they gave us some problems, especially in the run game early in the game. And I think the adjustments that the staff made, Greg and the offensive staff made, was really showed some results in the second half with us being able to move the football through the air.
Coach, when you looked at the schedule going into the season, we certainly knew that it was very, very front heavy. I mean, some very good teams at the beginning. You have ULM, then you have LSU, and then you open up conference with the defending conference champs in UCA. But one thing about the 11-game schedule and a 9-game conference schedule, only 2 non-conference games to get ready for the conference season. Talk about maybe your preparation for that and what's going through your mind as to get ready to – I mean, obviously these first 2 are important, but you got to be hitting on all cylinders when it comes week 3.
Yeah, but everything's about us. We don't look at the opponent and say we got to get to this point by the time we play these guys and be at this stage when we play these guys. It's improving each week, like I said earlier. It's not coach speak. It really is true. We got to develop our guys. We got to gain experience through practice, good practice habits, through film watching, through the study of taking the classroom to the field. And if we can do that, we can improve. Well, whoever we play first, we've got to be able to do that. So it's not us competing against the opponent. It's us competing against ourselves to make ourselves better. Because if we just limit ourselves on our opponent, that means as soon as we beat them, then we've reached the pinnacle of where we want to be. And we don't want to do that. We want to continue to improve and try to take ourselves and drive it to a different level than we've ever been. Break through the glass ceiling, so to say, and then be the best that we could possibly be.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we're going to dive heavily into the game against ULM, get Coach to break down that one for us right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Each summer, student-athlete leaders from the Southland Conference's 13 schools get together for a retreat. Before we start another season of competition, there's time to have some fun and bond. We also share experiences of serving our campuses and communities. Together, Southland student-athletes completed more than 30,000 community service hours over the past year. We pull for each other and push to make each other better. Just what makes us Southland strong.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me.
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools, for nearly 500,000 student athletes, college sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
All right, welcome back to the Inside Southeastern Football with head coach Frank Scelfo. I'm Alan Waddell. This show is presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Toplock Catering right here on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. We appreciate you joining in with us here tonight. Lions on the road open up their season this past Thursday night on a 34-31 tough loss to UL Monroe. Certainly had an opportunity to win the game, had the lead there late in the fourth quarter, and then had a chance to tie it on a last-second field goal. Field goal got blocked, but the Lions certainly went up and had a very nice performance, just didn't quite get the outcome they were looking for there in the final minutes of the fourth quarter. Coach, let's dive back in the beginning of this game and talk about how it kind of all played out. We'll talk about some big plays, some big performances, and walk our way through this game. And going into this game, I know this is the best team ULM's had in a while. I mean, they were getting a lot of preseason publication. I think they were picked second in the Sun Belt in their division. So a lot of people think this ULM team is going to compete for a conference championship in the Sun Belt.
Well, it's a good football team. Matt Viatar does a great job up there. He's a good coach, and he's been in our conference for a long 10 years, I think, or so at McNeese. So, in fact, I worked for his dad. He hired me one time when high school football over in Texas. But they're going to do a good job. I think they got good talent. I think the quarterback's good. Their skill guys on offense are really good. Defensively, they fly around with the football. So they've got a lot of experience coming back. So I think they will. It was a good measuring stick for us to find out who we are. So it exposed us in some areas and then gave us some exposure in other areas. So you want to play good teams. Same thing as we do this Saturday.
Coach, let's talk about that opening possession of the game. Is kind of a strange way to start the season. They have an unbelievably long drive on that first drive. I think it's 15 or 16 plays there to open up 13 plays to open up the first drive of the game. And a lot of dinking and dunking. Really did a good job of keeping it in front of them and making them work for it. But that was really the story of the first half end of the game, not being able to get off the field on third down.
Yeah, like we were talking a minute ago, they were 11 of 18 on third down. So we got to get them off the field. They ran 96 snaps during the course of the game. That's way too many. And we got to figure out a way to get those guys off on third down. And then we've got to convert on third down. We were 3 of 10. So today's a big third down day for us at practice. We did that. We spent a lot of time on it. But it's so important people to understand how critical it is to get your defense off the field when they have an opportunity to do that, and then offensively to stay on it to control the football a little bit longer.
Lions fall behind in this one. They come right back and have a 10-play, 74-yard drive, a touchdown pass from Chase and Virgil to Austin Mitchell on a 9-yard touchdown pass. I believe that was a third down for you. One of your third down conversions was on a touchdown there to tie the game at 7. We did some wrinkles there at the beginning. I think that a lot of people had the question of who was going to start at quarterback. You did a pretty good job of keeping that under your hat the whole fall camp. And Chase and Virgil gets the start, but we see Lorenzo on the field playing some quarterback on that opening possession and also split out at wide receiver as well.
I think that when you talk about being unselfish, you open up the dictionary and there's Lorenzo. He'll do whatever we need him to do, and he's able to, and he's embracing his role to do that. And playing running back, playing receiver, he played quarterback, he played everywhere. He played slot, he played outside. He's such a good athlete. He's such a good football player. He's a student of the game. We got to put him on the field, Alan. We just can't leave him off. So we kind of, there's some more things we need to be able to do with him, and we're going to do more things with him. We got to get the ball in his hand sometimes, and we tried to do that especially early on.
Coach, I want you to talk about a couple of big plays in this first half. And if you're going to go on the road against the FBS opponent and get upset, you got to call some turnovers. You did that. Talk about the big interception by Fernando Jordan as he goes back and makes a great play and a nice return as well to give an opportunity to take the lead in the first half.
Yeah, that second series, we kind of figured, hey, they're going to take a shot because of what you said just a minute ago in that first series, dinking and dunking, and nothing was thrown down the field. Everything was horizontal or running the football. So in between series, just talking to Louis Chofi, and he said, hey, here's the time for them to take a shot. Depending on where field position is, heads up for the shot. And he dialed it up. Fernando did a great job over the top of the post, made a great catch. He really did a nice job, which is, we're looking for somebody to make those plays. And took it back, ran it back. We had a couple of key blocks on the way, got it all the way back down there. Great return. And put us in position to score again.
Lions take the lead on a touchdown pass to Lorenzo Nunez from Chase Virgil. Take the lead 14-7. I thought a big play in the first half, and I'm going to kind of jump around here, but I thought a big play in the first half was the targeting on Xavier Lewis. We lost him for the second half, and I know he was a big part of your game plan. A guy that's from East St. John High School, transferred in from LSU. He's a good player for you, starting that corner. I'm not going to get you to comment really on the call, but what happened maybe in the game plan whenever he had to exit that game in the first half?
Well, Xavier was locked in on their best receiver is number 3, Marcus Green, and he's a really good player. He's their all-conference player for him last year, and we put Xavier on him man-to-man the entire game. And the first half, he really did a great job on him, and then he broke loose on that. Xavier was out, and he broke loose on that long, 79-yard touchdown catch to open up the second half. But, we got to have other guys step up. Whether it's targeting, whether it's an injury or whatever, other guys got to step up, and they got to execute the game plan the best way. We need them to. So we need other guys to be able to step up. So for a couple of players to get the experience in the second half with Xavier out is a good thing. We can grow from that, and those kids can grow from that.
Coach, one thing that I thought stood out late in the first half and especially in the second half as well is you gave up a lot of snaps in this game. They ran a ton of plays, but I thought your red zone defense was pretty good. They had a couple of opportunities down there late, and especially in the first half, too. They had a 17-play drive. You hold them to a field goal. And I know against a high-powered offense, you got to do that, make them kick field goals.
That's right, and that's why I thought our defense really did a good job of bending and not breaking. And it played in a lot of things, as the game wore on, but we stopped them twice, missed 2 field goals, blocked an extra point. So we had some things going for us down there. Like you said, they score a lot of points, and they were struggling against us, and that's when, we really felt good about everything. But, again, it goes back to those third downs, getting off the field. And they converted 2 fourth downs, but getting off the field on third down is critical for us.
A couple of things before we get to our next break is talk about the big play to Juwan Petit-Frere on the slant. I think it was a 59-yard touchdown pass to give you the lead 21-16 there in the second quarter. Talk about that play. I know if you had an opportunity to see it from the end zone view, it was really a beautiful throw. He made a nice throw in between several defenders.
It was. He read it. He anticipated the throw, which is what Chasen does really a good job of. Juwan ran a good route, got in that little seam, and Chasen anticipated, hit him. And when he did, once he took off and got in the open, maybe some teams will catch him, but they weren't going to catch him. And he took off and got in the end zone. So it was good. It was great to watch. But we need explosive plays like that. We're not built to go 18 plays and chew up 6 minutes of clock. We need to be able to throw some balls out there and guys make big plays and explosive plays for us.
Coach, one of my favorite things about being a member of the media is we get to make, judgments and things like that. And I'm sitting here on the radio, and I said right before the first half, we have the lead 21-16. We're backed up. We have 51 seconds. I said, I'm sure we're going to just take a knee here and get to halftime. And we start slinging it around the yard. And I think that's one of the things. We're going to talk about the last drive, obviously when we come back after break. But
sure.
But it was a nice drive right before the half. We didn't get points. We put ourselves in an opportunity, and it showed what this offense can do, move the ball down the field in a short clock situation.
But, again, that's the confidence you got to have in those players. They've done it in practice. We wanted to see if they could do it in a game. We worked a 2-minute situation all the time during camp. We worked, obviously, in the spring. But during camp, we did it 3 times a week. And we put our guys in all of those situations to see how they're going to perform, and we put the pressure on them. And they did a good job. They responded, and we felt like it was a good time to do that. And however it turns out, that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep pushing the ball down the field. We're not going to sit back, and we're going to do those things. But it did play into giving Jonathan a kick right there before half. He's been money the whole camp. We were not laughing about it, but we were talking about it. He really hadn't missed a kick the whole camp on all these 2-minute situations. So it was good to get him in that situation, and we got a lot of confidence in him, and it just didn't work out that time for him.
Lions led 21-16 on the road at ULM at halftime. Let's go ahead and get to a break. We come back, we'll have more right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Tote Block Catering on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Imagine life without football. No Friday night lights, no pep rallies, no band. All that time invested to teach young men and women commitment and team spirit, gone. Football, where young men and women compete to be the best, where bands, cheerleaders, and countless others take part in the team experience. Celebrate the passion that only happens every fall. Join the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for providing the facilities to meet my health and nutritional needs in order for me to be the best student athlete I can be.
For making game day experiences go from ordinary to extraordinary.
For allowing me to meet new people and build lifelong friendships while competing at the school I love.
For giving me the resources to pursue my degree and the ability to excel in the classroom.
For helping me look my best as I compete and achieve my goals.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back. Already almost halfway home here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla, right here on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. This show is also being broadcast live on Facebook, so you can go to the Southeastern Louisiana University Athletics Facebook page and watch it there, and it'll be archived later up tonight. Mr. Colton Vickers does a great job doing that as well for us. I think it'll also be on YouTube as well, so certainly you have many chances. If you just tuning in, you say, I didn't hear what he said the first 30 minutes, you can go back and watch the archive either later tonight or tomorrow. Lions led 21-16 at the end of the first half against UL Monroe on the road this past week as the Lions opened up their 2018 season. And, Coach, you kind of mentioned it earlier whenever we were talking about Xavier as he got out of the game because of the targeting call. Really their biggest play of the night was the big play right there to start the third quarter.
Yeah, it was. And, guy threw a nice ball, broke it on a slant route, caught it, and he showed why he was an all-conference performer last year and one of the top receivers in the country coming back to his school. So that was an unfortunate play for us. We obviously didn't want to start the second half that way. But, sometimes when you face adversity, it reveals a lot of stuff. And I thought our guys really bounced back and competed well right after that. Had a chance to go in the tank just like everybody does at all times. When you don't know kind of what you're dealing with in those situations, you wonder how they're going to react. And the big play happened, and we didn't blink. We didn't flinch, and I thought that was pretty good.
Coach, I thought in the third quarter that there was a few times where they had opportunities really on some short fields to make this a two-possession game, and I thought your defense did a really nice job digging deep and getting off the field and some opportunities. Like I mentioned, if you go down 2 scores on the road, it's tough, and they kept it within that 1-score game, which gave you the opportunity for the big play later in the game to take the lead.
Yeah, again, missing the field goal was a big thing for them, hitting the upright and not getting points out of that. They didn't get points off of our turnover. So, when things like that happen, it does give you a new life, I guess you'd say, on your team. But what you'd like to hope is that maturity takes over on your ball club, and those guys, none of that comes into play. They just want to go out and do their job. So we built off of that. We've talked about that. We talked about it going into the game. That's going to be a roller coaster ride. They're going to make plays because they're a good football team. They're going to score points. They're a good football team. They're going to stop us. So all those things are going to happen. Now, how do we handle it? And I thought we did a nice job of doing that.
Coach, let's fast forward to really the end of the ball game as you take the lead on the long touchdown pass there from Chase and Virgil to Juwan Petit-Frere. You take the lead. They come down. You actually get a stop. Mm-hmm. We have an opportunity. I think this is maybe where a lot of people aren't remembering, but really we had an opportunity not to give them the ball back again. We could have, if we execute the 4-minute drill, we can run the clock out. Didn't work out, but certainly an opportunity to learn from, looking forward to future games.
Yeah, and that's another situation, Alan, we practiced on a regular basis, is being able to take the time off the clock, burn the timeouts that the opposing team has, and we didn't get it done. We took a sack, a negative yardage play, took a sack and put us in 3rd and long. Kept the clock running, fortunately, but they used the timeout that we were hoping that they would burn by then, but they still had it in their pocket. Well, that gave them the ball back in pretty good field position. I say pretty good on that 30, I think 37, 33, something like that. And, that put our defense back on the field, which, towards the end of the game. But we really felt good again about our defense, how they were playing, not giving up the big play up until that point. And, we did a pretty decent job of that, keeping them out of there. But, giving up the score at the end was tough. But all that could have been eliminated with the offensively if we'd have taken care of the football.
Because we were talking after the game, and one of the, I think, things that jumps out is I don't remember a cramp in this game. It was a human night on the first night of the season, and I don't remember really either team cramping up. I know there was a lot of TV timeouts and things of that nature, but your defense, I thought their conditioning was pretty good. They played a lot of snaps on opening night.
Well, they'll tell you that I don't think we condition a lot. They think we do. I don't know. Maybe we just have to discuss that. But we practice at a good tempo. And we stress our guys physically. So we put them in positions where they got to fight through some things. I think Brandon Albin our trainer, does a great job hydrating our players, educating them. I think our education process throughout camp and everything, Alan, was really good. The way he spoke about what they needed to do to make sure these things don't take place. We don't have health issues, how to hydrate, what to look for, the symptoms and the signs. And it's about educating the player so that he's able to take care of his body a little bit better. So, and the other thing is pickle juice. I don't know. They like pickles and pickle juice. I have a tough time drinking it, but they like it. If it works, I'm all for it.
I mean, am I wrong, though? I don't remember a cramp.
We didn't have any. No, we didn't.
That's
we
crazy.
didn't have any at all. No, we didn't have any.
You just
at all.
watch college football all around the country, and there's cramps all over the place.
Yeah,
no
maybe
doubt
it's the pickle juice out. I don't know.
Coach, let's jump to the last possession of the game. They score with 37 seconds left. They get the 2-point conversion. They go up by 3, and if I hadn't been on the sideline and saw the first half and us being able to move the football down with 51 seconds to give ourselves an opportunity, maybe you think, hey, this game's over, but you marched it right down the field. A beautiful drive on a few passes there, get it down to the 16-yard line and give yourself an opportunity to tie the game.
Yeah, I had a great discussion with Greg when they had the football right at the end. So the only scenarios that you had left offensively is you're going to be in a 4-minute mode because you're going to get the ball back, but they will be out of timeouts by that time. So you'll get the ball back. We're going to let's see where we got to go to take a knee, and we'll be up at that time, so the game's over. Or we'll go down. They'll go down and score a touchdown, and then there's 2 scenarios. One, they kick the extra point, which you wouldn't think they would do that. They would go for 2. So they would either be up 1 point or 3 points. So we went through that whole process and then said, all right, tell us, let's see what we need here, where we got to go. So a field goal is what we're going to need. Field goal to tie or a field goal to win. It's going to be one of those 2 things. You score a touchdown and win a game, but one of those 2 things are going to go. And we felt like the red zone going into overtime to tie was a great way to go because of where we felt we were in the red zone. How we were able to move the football, they struggled. Again, missing a couple of field goals. I think their kicker was shaky. We really felt good about Jonathan, like I said, through camp. He missed a 40-something yarder right before half, but we felt good about him. Had a lot of confidence in him. And then, us blocking an extra point. We had another one. We just missed it. We had another extra point that we could have blocked. We just missed it. So I was talking to Brandon Lacey, who has our field goal block team, and he said that we can get it, So all those conversations are going on during that time. They end up scoring. We get the kickoff. And we go right down the field. So it really was a good drive. We didn't execute the kick at the end of the game, but it was a good drive to give us an opportunity to tie and go in overtime.
Coach, you get to the 16 with, I believe, 13 seconds left. You have a couple of timeouts. I know it's hindsight 2020. Do you think you take a shot at the end zone again, or no? Do you play it the same way if you had a chance again?
When you look at the 16-yard line, that's really like a bad area for you to drop back. There's not too many 16-yard plays in your playbook. You got some 8 and 10-yard plays or some 5 and 6-yard slant routes and things like that. But defensively, they're going to do one of 2 things. We felt like they were going to bring pressure, and which we hadn't handled it. We gave up 3 sacks, 2 of them on pressure situations. So we hadn't handled that really well. And earlier in the drive, Jason took a shot, but we got the ball out. So we couldn't take a sack. We felt like that would put us out of field goal range. We didn't want to do that. So he said, let's get it over to the middle of the field and kick the field goal. Let's go in the overtime. So we felt good about the decision. Would I do it again? Yeah, I'd do it again if I knew we were going to make it. If I knew we were going to miss it, I wouldn't do it again. So, but I think the decision, when you arrive at a decision, you want to make sure that you go back and go through the process. Did we go through the process to arrive at that decision? Yes, we did. Did it work out? It didn't. So it's unfortunate, but that's what it is.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to have a lot more right here on Inside Southeastern Football with head coach Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Toplock Catering on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Each summer, student-athlete leaders from the Southland Conference's 13 schools get together for a retreat. Before we start another season of competition, there's time to have some fun and bond. We also share experiences of serving our campuses and communities. Together, Southland student-athletes completed more than 30,000 community service hours over the past year. We pull for each other and push to make each other better. Just part of what makes us Southland strong.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me.
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter. Shortstop. High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
NCAA Division I FCS football is a game of perseverance, integrity, passion, character, and sportsmanship. As he works to honor the game, every FCS student-athlete grows in his responsibilities as a student and as a member of his campus and community. Dedicated to personal growth and success in the classroom, the NCAA Division I FCS, every down, every day.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
All right, welcome back. 37 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. This is Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo. I'm Alan Waddell. As always, we're presented by the Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla Catering. Thanks to everybody who came out here tonight. As we will not normally be on Tuesday night. This is normally going to be a Monday night show from 7 to 8 o'clock because of the holiday yesterday. We moved it to Tuesday night. Lions had a tough one on Thursday night, dropped a heartbreaker in the final seconds to UL Monroe 34-31, and now they'll turn their attention this weekend as the Lions will be on the road against the LSU Tigers in Baton Rouge in Tiger Stadium. So certainly a challenge this weekend, but one I know, Coach, that you're looking forward to, an opportunity going over there and compete.
Yeah, it's like we talked about earlier, Alan, the opportunity to go there and compete against anybody, an opponent, especially a good one, really exposes you. It gives you a chance to get the exposure that you want, but it also exposes weaknesses that you might have. But the way to take it is that your team can grow from it. So if we can grow from it, if we can get better from it, we can learn from it, then it's a positive experience. If we don't, then it's a negative experience, no matter what the outcome of the game. It doesn't. The win or the loss, that doesn't affect the experience. It's how you take it. It's how you take what you went through and whether you can grow from it or not. If we can do that, then it's going to be a positive experience for us.
Coach, before we get more into that game, I want to talk about a couple of big individual performances this past week against UL Monroe. We talked about Jason Virgil, 350 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Joanne Petit-Frere had a big night. Defensively, Tamarcus Russell had 20 tackles. Talk about some of those guys and maybe somebody else that after going back and watching the game tape that jumped out to you. Who do you think played well in this first game? Yeah,
it's good. Tamarcus, again, played a lot of snaps. And he was all over the field. And there's some things we got to clean up. But what he did from the spring going through the summer, he recognized after the spring that he didn't learn the defense as well as he should have. And he really buckled down through the summertime, did a great job, came back in fall camp, and became a leader for us. And now his knowledge of the defense is really good, and he did a lot of good things for us the other night. Checks, getting some guys in the right spot, getting himself in the right position. So that was a huge step for him from a guy that, really he played a little bit but not a bunch, but really playing well. That was a huge step for him. And then I thought Matt Wright did a good job for us at free safety back there. He's
16 tackles.
Yeah, if he walked in there, you wouldn't even know who he was. You'd think he's delivering papers or something. I mean, he's just awesome guy. But I mean, he's a heck of a player, but you just wouldn't know who he was. But he's there every day, does everything right, puts himself in position, and that's what the whole key there. And then you look. I thought Xavier really played a good first half. To shut their guy down for the most part in man coverage. We gave him a tall task, and we said going in, we're going to challenge you on this one. And he said, let's go. We'll do what we got to do. And, Philando Jordan had a nice game. Played well out there. Got beat early. Kind of lost some eye discipline looking in the backfield. But bounced back, made the interception, and had a couple of key tackles and stuff like that. And then Isaac Berglund, I think, is going to be one of our, he's a solid player for us. Always going to be around the football and did some nice things. So, defensively, I thought we played well. At times, we'd like to stop the run a little bit better and get off the field on third downs. But other than that, we made people work for we made ULM work for what they wanted.
Coach, when you have a new staff, and again, the fans, they want to know what the team's going to look like, and we only have one game now to really take a look at. Is that how much you want to throw the football? Do you want to throw it as much as you did against ULM? Do you want to be more balanced? I know you were a little shorthanded at the running back position. No Marcus Cooper in this game. No Juice Marcelin in this game. But talk about that a little bit, and is this what we can expect? I mean, do you want to put it up 40 times a game?
If we win, I'll throw it 50 times, 60 times. I don't care. We'll throw as much as we need to. But we'll run it 60 times too, Alan. So I want to do whatever we're able to do. The other night, I think Monroe did a nice job in the first half, canceling some gaps on us and not allowing us to run the football as much as we'd like to. But when you do that, you open some things up in the pass game, which that's where the coaching aspect comes in. Greg and the rest of the staff got together and put their minds and said, look, here's some other stuff that we do have. They can take this away, but they're going to open themselves up for this. And, the kids are going to buy into something like that. But for us to be able to make those adjustments on a run late in the second quarter and then again carrying it through the second half, I thought was really good. Showed a lot of growth, not only as his staff coming together for the first time, but also the players actually being able to handle those adjustments during a game time situation.
Lions will be on the road this Saturday at LSU. They're going to take on the Tigers. The Tigers moved up to, I think, number 11 in the poll after their win this past week against Miami. Played on different days, so you had an opportunity to watch that game when they played Miami the other night.
We did. We had our family dinner, team dinner on Sunday night, which was you sponsored it for us. Round of applause for Alan Waddell and Scott Allen. They fed the entire team. It was awesome. Great. Catered it from Lee's. It was really good. We enjoyed it. And afterwards, we went inside and watched the game. Caught a lot of the game and watched LSU. And they're a good football team. Looking forward to seeing them on a Saturday night at Tiger Stadium.
Coach, I know you have a relationship with Coach Ogeron. You've known him for a long time. Talk about that. That relationship with him is both Louisiana guys.
Yeah. We basically probably since high school, early in college. I think he's got a thicker accent than me. He talks different than I do, but we're both from that South Louisiana. He's got better hair than I do too, and he does that. But he's a good friend. He's such a good guy. He believes in this in university. He believes in that place. He believes in the state. He's done some good things for us since I've been here. He came to our camp this summer, brought his entire staff to us, which attracted a lot of people to us. So that helped us out. And him playing us and being open to playing us on a regular basis is what we're looking forward to, because it's important that we keep the talent here in the state of Louisiana, and he wants to do that. He would like to lock this state down and help us as much as he can. When you look across our state, we got Ed's a former high school coach here, grew up here. Matt Viatar's a high school coach here, grew up here. Timmy Rebold at Nichols, high school coach here, grew up here. Brad Laird, Northwestern, high school coach here, grew up here. Lance Guidry at McNeese, high school coach here, grew up here. Me, high school coach here, grew up here. So there's a lot of connections here in this state that there's enough talent to go around. We got to get our share, and we want them. We want them to stay here and play for us.
Only the second time the two schools have met. The last meeting was in 1949.
Yeah, I wasn't there. No. I didn't make that one.
Hey, well, we were joking. The last time Southeastern played in Tiger Stadium was right after Katrina. We played Tulane, and you were coaching for Tulane.
That's right.
And what did I tell you at the press conference? I said we should have won that game. Yeah. I know you were coaching for Tulane. No comment?
No.
Okay.
No. But it was a good game. I thought it was. We played earlier. Played Mississippi State up in Shreveport, and then we came down here. It was probably a month out of Katrina, then maybe 5 weeks or so, and it was an eerie situation.
No doubt.
There wasn't 100,000 people in there that day. There might have been 5,000. I don't know, but it was really it was an eerie situation to be there. We had just gotten back into New Orleans. We came down a couple of days earlier and stayed, and everything was the devastation was still apparent, throughout the city. So for us to be able to see it and then go to Baton Rouge and play the Lions, that was a tall task, but it got us where we needed to get.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I have some questions for Coach Scelfo that people have sent in. Also, if you're watching on Facebook Live, you have a question for Coach Scelfo, you can send it in. Colton will give it to me, and we will ask right here live on our radio program. But we have a little bit less than 15 minutes left, so let's take our final break. We'll come back, and we'll wrap it up right here on Inside Southeastern Football with head coach Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Each summer, student-athlete leaders from the Southland Conference's 13 schools get together for a retreat. Before we start another season of competition, there's time to have some fun and bond. We also share experiences of serving our campuses and communities. Together, Southland student-athletes completed more than 30,000 community service hours over the past year. We pull for each other and push to make each other better. Just part of what makes us Southland strong.
Imagine life without football. No Friday night lights, no pep rallies, no band. All that time invested to teach young men and women commitment and team spirit, gone. Football, where young men and women compete to be the best, where bands, cheerleaders, and countless others take part in the team experience. Celebrate the passion that only happens every fall. Join the game.
All right, welcome back. We have about 10 minutes to go here on our program. Thank you so much for joining us. It's the debut of Inside Southeastern Football with head coach Frank Scelfo here in 2018. We want to appreciate everybody who came out here tonight, tuned in with us, as we're going to be doing this each and every week, normally on Monday nights, so Mondays from 7 to 8 o'clock. As next week, we'll be back with you on Monday as we'll be breaking down the LSU game and then looking forward to UCA, the home opener, the next Saturday. Coach, before we get into that, before I get to some questions, I got some coming in for you here tonight. I do want to ask you the opportunity. The game did get moved from ESPNU to ESPN2, so it's going to be a national televised game, and certainly an opportunity to get Southeastern brand out there on national television.
No, it's a great opportunity for us, and like I told the players, everybody wants to see you, see how you're going to do. So do what you do. We're going to practice and prepare this way this week for a game on Saturday. And the opponent is the opponent, and there's nothing we can do about it, but we can't control what we do. So we want to make sure we prepare and build on what we've done last week and what we did in camp and continue to grow as the season goes on.
I know a lot of people have been asking about tickets. If you want tickets,
have any. I don't have any.
You have to go through the LSU site. There's no tickets here at Southeastern. You have to go through the LSU site or one of those other ticket sites. So I know that I wanted to get that message out there. Also, there will be a pregame tailgate over at LSU. It's on lot 402 near Nicholson Extension. That's where the tailgate's going to be. It's going to start at 1:30. We hope a lot of green and gold can make their way over there. If not, if you're going to stay home and watch it on TV, make sure you turn down the sound on your set there and listen to the voice of the Lions, Mark Willoughby, as he'll bring the action to you pregame starting at 5:30 over there at LSU this weekend. But certainly, Coach, I know it's a tall task. They played very well against Miami. What jumps out about those guys, and what do you have to account for this weekend when you go to Baton Rouge?
When you watched the game the other night, you expected Miami to be a little bit better offensively, right? I think LSU had a whole lot to do with that. Their front seven, I think, is really dominant when it comes to college football. Their front five, 4 guys up front, and I know they lost one of their players for the season, which is unfortunate for them, but their front is really a dominant defensive front. So that's where we've got to really do things from a schematic standpoint to be able to do some stuff to move the football down the field and take some shots if we get a chance to. But that's probably what stands out to me. And then, Steve Ensminger is the offensive coordinator. He's a really good friend of mine. I've been knowing my whole life. And I see him and Ed, what they have done, what they're doing offensively. They want to come down and be a physical. They want to play a physical brand of football. They want to build their program to win a national championship. And they know it's going to take a physical brand of football. You saw it last year in the national championship game, what it took. And I think you see it each and every year that you're going to have to block and tackle and just really become a fundamentally sound football team. But you have to be physical to play this game. So that's what we're looking forward to. I think that's what we're going to get. I think that's who they want to be, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Coach, we have a few minutes left. Let's go ahead and jump into some questions that have come in here tonight as we'll try to get through as many of these as we can here in our last 7 or 8 minutes with you. Coach Darrell from Ponchatoula says, Coach, you've coached a lot of great quarterbacks in your career. What do you look for in your quarterback physically and mentally?
Yeah, leadership is first. If he's got to be a good leader. He's got to be a good person, on and off the field, because all the guys look at him. And if he's not, then the team's going to struggle. The team's going to always question if he's doing something off the field, is it going to carry over on the field? So I think that's always the most important thing, that you can't, in recruiting guys, make sure the background on those guys are solid, that he's a good person. You recruit him because he's got talent. All those guys have talent. I mean, if you're playing Division I football, you have to have some type of talent. But if you don't have the qualities of a person morally, then I think you're going to struggle at the quarterback position. I don't know why some guys don't make it, the 4 or 5-star guys. I don't know that. I'm not there. But I do know the ones that do make it have those qualities of leadership and things like that. I think the talent level is pretty – it's not that great. The arm strength, the size, there's not one stereotypical quarterback that you say this is what you have to be successful. Everything from Drew Brees to Ben Roethlisberger and everything in between. But when you look at those guys that are successful, those are quality people.
All right, Coach Wade from Hammond says, Coach, can you talk about a newcomer who really stood out on the tape from ULM?
Besides me, because I'm a newcomer too, I mean, we got a lot of them. We got, Chase and Virgil is a newcomer.
Pretty good performance.
Fernando's a newcomer. Matt Wright's a newcomer. A lot of those guys are newcomers. So I don't know. Pat Allen had a good game at left tackle. He's a newcomer that just came in. So, Devontae Williams ran the ball well. So we got a lot of newcomers. We're all Lions now, so there's no more newcomers. It's just us.
You just talked about Williams, and Danny from Slidell says, Coach, can you talk about the talent we have at running back this year?
Yeah, not having Juice and Marcus right now, that's a hit because those guys are good players. But Devontae and DJ really did a nice job the other night. Both of those guys are real smart. They're good running backs, but they did a really good job in protection, and they catch the ball well. So I think with those two things, being dual-threat guys like that, we've been able to play them. They're 3-down backs because they are physical enough to step up in there. But they also can do some things in the pass game, get open one-on-one. We missed Devontae down by the goal line one time when we had to settle for a field goal, but he ran a great route off of the backer and came open in the middle of the field, and Jason just missed him. But that was an opportunity for it. He walks in the end zone there. But, they're able to do those things. We can get some matchup situations on backers. I think it's advantageous to us. So we're pretty good with the running back spot.
I don't know if you want to disclose much of this, but, I mean, what's the status on Juice and Marcus?
Day by day. Yeah, the day to day. So they both practice some today, and we'll see how they go. The big game time decision on both guys. Yeah.
All right, Coach. Next, I'm going to kind of bulk the next couple of questions together because we actually have 2 questions that are about the tight end.
Okay.
I want to know, I know you've had a lot of experience in the NFL, and then Coach Stevens, when he was here in a previous stint, used the tight end. Is that something you want to do, get the tight end more incorporated in the offense?
And we got a good one. Branson Schwabel's a good tight end. Does an excellent job of catching the football, getting open.
He had a catch on Thursday.
He had a catch. Yeah, we got to get him the ball more. We got to target him more times. He was only targeted once and made the catch on that. And we got to get him involved in the game more because he is a weapon. So we got to take advantage of him. We got a guy with some skill with the skills that he has and the body type that he has. We got to be able to take advantage of him. And believe me, we're addressing that, and it's going to be a constant work in progress with him. The quarterback position sometimes has a tendency to see the wide receivers a little bit better than they do the tight ends and understanding the position because a lot of times they work in a crowded room. But he's got such a big body, he's able to do some things for us. He looks like he's covered, but he's not because of his size.
He went down and got that ball on Thursday. It was a little low.
He did. And, I think if Jason throws a little bit better ball, he's able to run and really becomes a big play.
Coach, a question off of Facebook Live. It says, Coach, do you think you got away in the second half from some things that were working in the first half against ULM?
Probably the thing, the running game was the one thing. And like I explained earlier, they made some adjustments that we probably hadn't seen maybe late in the first quarter and in early second quarter, which got us to throw the football a little bit more. But, we felt comfortable. We went back and looked at the game, which you always do. You got to self-correct. And we went back and looked at the game. Could we have done a little bit more of this? Could we have done a little bit more of that? I think it goes back to converting those third downs. That was the big thing for us, be able to stay on the field and giving our offense a little more time and getting the defense off the field a little more.
Coach, a question I got a lot this weekend was, I know we used Lorenzo a lot in the first half, and he was in the game in the second half a lot. We just didn't maybe get him involved as much. Was that something they did, adjusting to him in the second half?
Yeah, they rolled the coverage to him a little bit, which was good because it opened up a couple of things for CJ and Niger and Juwan. So they rolled the coverage to him a little bit. So I don't know if we'll see the same thing this week, but we have to. He said he's a good player, so we got to figure out a way to get him the football and put the ball in his hands and do something with it. Whether we line him up at quarterback again and let him throw it or run it, or put him at wide out or just hand it off to him at running back. But they did some stuff for us that would take him out of the game. But again, it opened up some other areas, some other guys.
All right, Coach, a couple of minutes left to go here on our show, and then we got to say bye-bye for the night. But certainly I know a lot of the fan base was enthused the way we played on Thursday night. I know you wanted to get a win. I know the fans wanted to get a win. Came up just a little bit short. But give us your final thoughts of the night as we wrap up ULM and look forward to LSU this weekend.
Well, being able to identify some of our players, I think, was the biggest thing to take from the game. Who's willing to put it out there in a game situation, without the experience, and have you done enough to do it? So we did that, and we found some other guys maybe that aren't quite ready. So we made some changes there, and we'll get some other guys groomed. But we got to constantly develop depth and then grow our players so that if we do lose Xavier Lewis, we have somebody to step in and take his place. If we lose a Sean Clavel, we got somebody to step in and take his place. So I think the attitude of our team is good. I think they heard after the game, which means they cared a lot, and that's a good thing. And they want to win just like everybody else. But they also know that it's going to take a lot of hard work to get us over the hump and play. You can't make mistakes against really good football teams. And we made too many mistakes out there the other night. But as long as we start correcting those, getting better, limiting the amount of times we make those errors, we got a better chance to come out on the right side of the scoreboard.
Well, Coach, thanks for being here tonight. That's the head football coach of your Southeastern Lions, Coach Frank Scelfo. And, Coach, good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Line up.
No doubt about it. As we want to thank everybody who came out here tonight. We're completely out of time. Lions will be on the road this Saturday in a 6 o'clock kickoff in Baton Rouge as they battle LSU. The game will be televised on ESPN2, but as always, you can listen right here on the network. We want to thank all of our affiliates that got on the air tonight, our flagship KSLU, and also Colton Vickers for getting us up on Facebook Live and YouTube. We're completely out of time. For Coach Frank Scelfo, I am Alan Waddell. We will see you next Monday night from 7 to 8 o'clock right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Toplock Catering on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. Line up, everybody.
Broadcasts on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network are a product of Lion Sport Properties. For more information on how you can support future broadcasts, Lion Sport Properties is available at area code 985-549-2570.